The Cobra is in a really weird place right now. It's literally parked. It looked like a barn find when I pulled up. It's just back here in the back at Darren's shop. We gotta try to drive the car to the guy that's gonna hopefully fix some things. Blue Motorsports. We're just hoping that the car gets there. Like, I just want to get there without overheating. That is the goal right now.
I'll let you know when you get out.
It's kind of hard to get out of here. It's in a very weird spot back here. Been driving about 2 miles so far, so good. We are halfway there. This place is only 4 miles away from Darren's shop, so that is a good thing. So hopefully we'll get some things going. We'll get the process of getting the Cobra, the BBC fixed. I've got something in my eye. If I keep twitching my eye, I'm not on drugs. I have something in my eye. All right, well, I'm gonna talk to them, see where I'm gonna put it. Pretty cool little place. Look at all these. So I just came to the realization that some of you guys don't have access to Instagram, or just aren't getting notifications on Instagram, or not on TikTok, don't follow me on Facebook. So for some of you, YouTube is the only way that you're getting updates on the car, so I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys updates. And so I'm here to give you an update on what's going on with the car. Yesterday, we did a compression check on the car, as well as a radiator bleed again, and checked all that stuff, and here's the results. Okay, so the compression check checked out. We have full compression on every cylinder to the point that it should be. So we don't have a blown head gasket, which is good news. If you guys haven't been following me for the past couple months, I want to go back to where this whole issue started. A couple months ago, Mustang Week was canceled because of the hurricane at Myrtle Beach.
If you are in one of the evacuation zones in the counties along the coast, the 8 of them, then the time to leave is now, if you're still here, to be safe.
So a lot of people came down to Charlotte, North Carolina to have Mustang Week down here. So we had a big Mustang show in Concord, North Carolina. I'm the only New Edge Cobra here. It's a model that models on cars. I've never seen one of those before. Everyone was doing burnouts in a little burnout pit, so I was like, here's my chance to do a burnout for all of you guys. Finally, I've never done a standing burnout in this car. It was my first burnout in the car standing, so I was super nervous, and there was also a broke down diesel trunk in front of me where his radiator just cracked during the burnout. So my first burnout in the 03 Cobra with a diesel truck like 7 feet in front of me, which means if I mess up and shoot forward, I'm going to hit him. So I was super nervous, and I messed up the first couple times, and then when I did the burnout, I kept the RPMs up way too high. I look back on it now, like, yeah, I should have kept the RPMs down a little bit lower and just peppered the throttle maybe between $3 and $4 grand, try to keep it down a little bit, but you know, I was up there like $5 grand to $6 grand to even hit the red line a couple of times. Just, I was full send. And that was my first burnout, so I kind of look at it as, well, that was my first burnout. I didn't really know what I was doing yet. It was my first time, so I'm just glad that I got it to work. But that was when all the issues started. That was when my radiator first started leaking coolant everywhere. I was like, great, I just blew a head gasket right now, right here. We just blew a head gasket. And it turns out that I'd in fact not blown a head gasket, that I just most likely had some coolant overflow from the cap that time.
Like, so these are pressure caps.
Yeah.
It's rated 16 PSI. So like once it reaches your temperature at?
In the middle.
All right.
But then after that, it was just issue after issue with the car the past couple months in terms of cooling and the radiator spitting out coolant and leaks this and leaks there, just tons of stuff going on. So now we're at a point where I'm trying to make a couple decisions, and I want to make these decisions with you guys, get your opinions, if you have any advice. Like, I've really appreciated all that. So leave all that in the comment box below, any opinions, any advice. I don't have a blown head gasket, right? I do need valve seals, and there's a tick coming from my head near cylinder 7 and 8.
And if you guys have done any research on 0304 Cobras, you probably know that around that 7 and 8 cylinder position in the block is where some heat buildup tends to happen, because not a lot of coolant tends to flow there because of just the way things are designed on the 0304 Cobra, and they tend to have heating issues in that part of the head, and that is where things start to wear out, and where your seals start to wear out, your valve seats start to wear out, and that is where that tick noise, I believe, is coming from, and that is why I believe that it's just been heated right there in that area, and it's just the typical wear and tear of an 03 Cobra with, you know, 134,000 miles. So in my opinion, the heads need to be rebuilt. I've already spent over $1,000 in the past month retuning it and fixing little heating issues here and there. I'm about to spend another $1,000. My intercooler pump is out. There is something to do with the oil it's some sort of sensor. I can't remember the name of the sensor, but there's a sensor out there that needs to be fixed. I need a new reservoir. I'm thinking I might be cracked, and that's where the coolant is leaking. If I didn't say that before, I'm leaking coolant right now. Not just from the top when it boils over, but somewhere else as well. So we gotta get that fixed. But beyond that, we're getting things done. And I just wanted to give you guys an update, let you know what all is going on. I've been learning a hell of a lot. And with some of you guys, I'm learning with you, and then I'm documenting and telling you guys. Some of you guys know a lot more than me, and you're teaching me stuff. I'm not a mechanic. I always say that. I don't claim to be. My background is in filmmaking and being creative and making content, and I'm slowly learning about this mechanical stuff with the car. It also has a bunch of suspension things that need to be replaced. Hopefully I can do that stuff myself. Just get a buddy that has a nice jack, take it to a garage, and I'll do that and film it for you guys. But one thing that I wanted to mention, and probably gonna be the title of this video, is two bolt-on parts that will keep your 0304 Cobra running a lot longer than it otherwise would. Number one is a Kenny Bell fuel brake. So fuel rail pressure sensors are sensors that sense the fuel that's going through the rails on your Cobra, and they go out a lot, especially if you're adding power, if you're getting bigger injectors, if you're adding fuel in any sort of way, if you're tuning the car, it's not on a stock tune, you're probably gonna pop a fuel rail pressure sensor. The problem is, if you pop one while you're driving, it just starts dumping fuel, and you could actually flood a cylinder wall and detonate your motor right there from a freaking sensor. This happens a lot. I've been through 4 fuel rail pressure sensors myself, and luckily that's never happened to me. Mine always went out when I was not driving, and then I would start it and it would. So Kenny Bell made this little part. It's a little tiny metal circle. I made a video about it years ago, and you put it inside your fuel rail pressure sensor, and it just doesn't allow too much fuel to go through, so you don't break the sensors all the time as there's more fuel going through them. I think you can just completely delete that system, which I'll probably do in the future, but when you're just getting a Cobra and you're doing little bolt-ons and not trying to spend all of your money, it's a good mod. You can get it, just type in Kenny Bell fuel brake, or I'll actually put the link to that video in my bio so you can go watch the whole video of when I put it in the car before. And then the other thing that I just learned about, that again, I'm still learning, is the 170 degree thermostat. Oh, by the way, my thermostat is bad. My thermostat did go out. So for all of you guys that said, Jordan, you probably have a bad thermostat, you're right. It did go. It was like getting stuck open and that kind of stuff. So that was definitely a contributing factor to my problem, as well as my intercooler pump going out, as well as some issues with oil cooling. So there's just a whole ton of problems right now with the car, and we're just cracking down, getting one thing fixed after the next. And it is expensive, and it hurts my heart and my wallet, but we're getting things fixed for you guys, and I hope you guys are enjoying this content. If you have a stock 0304 Cobra, you're going to have a 180 degree thermostat, which means basically when your car gets to 180 degrees, your fans will kick on and they will start to cool down your motor. But the problem is when you start modding the car, it gets hot a lot faster, and sometimes the heat can go up just too fast and your thermostat starts having issues, and your engine and everything gets a little bit hotter than you might like, and you're gonna get really bad heat soak. And so what a lot of guys do, what I actually just ordered one myself, is get a 170 degree thermostat. So that way your engine is not getting as hot because your fans are turning on at 170 degrees as opposed to 180, getting rid of some of the heat soak issues, which could probably save your heads for a little longer, as well as save your blower for a little while. I mean, you could have so many detonation issues with heat, like literally most of the issues with 0304 Cobras, if not every single issue on an 0304 Cobra when it comes to the motor, is a heating issue. Literally the head's getting too hot, the blower getting too hot, the air in the intake getting too hot. That's where most of the issues with an 0304 Cobra come from. So if you get the Kenny Bell fuel brake and you put that in your fuel rail pressure sensor, and you also get a 170 degree thermostat, then you're getting rid of two potential detonation problems, two things that could cause detonation, or two things that could really mess up your motor, which is too much fuel and dumping fuel and just washing the cylinder walls and detonating that way, or possibly the engine getting too hot and messing up things in the heads, kind of like the issue that I'm having. I'm having the head tick, the infamous head tick. I will say, if you're having issues like this and you think it is the head gasket, a lot of people have been messaging me about this having the same issues. It might be the thermostat. And it might be the reservoir on your radiator. And there are a couple of other small things that it could be. It might not be the head gasket. There were a lot of guys saying it's definitely the head gasket, and some of you guys were saying it's not. It wasn't. We did a compression test and it wasn't. So I just want to say to you guys that think you have a blown head gasket, and maybe you have a lower mileage Cobra and you're really upset about it, all hope is not lost. It might be just a reservoir. It might be just an air bubble that was caused by a thermostat going out. Your thermostat might have went out and then you fixed it, and then it blew over again because there was an air bubble in the radiator that was caused by a thermostat. So just don't lose all hope. It's frustrating when things break, especially if you have your 0304 Cobra and it's expensive and things break a lot. I know it's frustrating, but hopefully this video gives you guys a little bit of hope if you're going through some of the same issues. By the way, if you haven't purchased Terminated merch, check this out. Look at this. Here's my coffee cup. If you are a coffee drinker, this thing is badass. I love it. It turned out great. I also have a little sticker. If you haven't seen this yet, focus. Come on, focus for me. Focus. My camera is just giving me issues, just like the car. Oh, you don't? Oh. There we go. Yes, Terminated sticker. The light pink Terminated hoodie here, just got this in. With that, I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this video. If you guys got some entertainment out of this video, or this video was informative for you and you learned some things that hopefully will save your engine from suffering the same demise that mine is, then give your boy a like. That helps me a lot. Get to more people here on the YouTube machine. Comment if you have any questions, concerns, advice, or you just wanna say hey. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure to click that subscribe button and ring that bell. Oh, I sound like a real YouTuber now, don't I? Click that subscribe button, ring that bell for notifications when I put out my videos. And I will see you guys next time. Much love, and get terminated.